Hi everyone, I'm Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today we're talking about the last of the Walt Disney World resorts that is set to reopen, and that is Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. Now, ironically, this was the first of the All-Star resorts to be opened back in April 29th, 1994. That was literally about a month or a month and a half before I graduated high school. So do the math. It is set to reopen on December 9th, 2021. This is also the very first Disney resort that I ever stayed on property. My husband and I stayed here when we were dating back in 2008, and it was this resort that convinced me to always stay on Disney property, and I had so much fun. And I know it's the resort that a lot of people, it's the least desired all-star resort. I loved it. I loved the sports theme. I remember we were in the touchdown section. I thought it was great. So I love All-Star Sports. Very excited to see it reopen. It only has two categories. Basically, it is standard and preferred. So this resort has 1,920 rooms, and the room sizes are 260 square feet, which is consistent across all of the value rooms. Standard views are buildings 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9, which are Hoops Hotel, Center Court, or the Home Run Hotel. And then the preferred view are buildings 1, 6, 7, and 10, which is Surf's Up and Touchdown. So let's go ahead and get to touringplans.com and take a look at the resort and the best and worst rooms.
As always, we're going to start on touringplans.com's page dedicated to the resort, and this is Disney's All-Star Sports Resort. As you can see, this hotel is currently closed, but it's scheduled to reopen on Thursday, December 9th, 2021. So here's all the information that you may need to know regarding Disney's All-Star Sports, some pictures, as well as how it compares to other value resorts, some tours. Now, it is going to give you brief understanding of the rooms. The rooms have been refurbished, I believe, or they'll be refurbished by the time it reopens. They will look very similar to the renovations done at Pop Century, where it will have one queen bed and then the pull down Murphy bed. So as with all the other value resorts, they are 260 square feet. And there's all the information. So this is all the information that you may want to know regarding All-Star Sports. There's the playground. As you can see, a small playground set is located between the Surf's Up building 6 and Touchdown building number 7. Some information about restaurants and dining. So all of this information is available to you on touringplans.com's website. Okay, so here is the official map of Disney's All-Star Sports Resort, and here is a quick overview. As you can see, here is the check-in and the lobby. B would be the end zone food court. C is going to be the Team Spirits pool bar, so that's going to be outside. D right here is the Sport Goofy's Gift and Sundries, so the gift shop. E is the Surfboard Bay pool. This is going to be the main pool. F over here is the Grand Slam pool in the Home Run Hotel section. And then G over here will be the Game Point Arcade. I can't talk today. And then H, I mentioned earlier, is the playground. It's going to be between buildings 6 and 7. Obviously, the bus stop is going to be right outside the lobby, and then you can see where there's parking. So if you do have your car, that will obviously make a difference as far as where you request your room. But this is a quick overview of the official map. Now let's take a look at the room map. Okay, here we have the room view map on touringplans.com, and we're going to start first with the standard view like we always do. So it's going to be the standard view, 2 double beds. And as I mentioned earlier, this is buildings 2, 3 in Hoops Hotel, 4 and 5 in Center Court, and then 8 and 9 in Home Run Hotel. So a lot will depend on whether or not you are going to bring your car. But I still think of these 3 sections, the best section is going to be Hoops Hotel. The only difference would be as far as where you would request if you have your car. So obviously, if you have your car, you would probably want to be on this end right here in 2133 or 2132 at the end, because as you can see, there's the parking lot right there. So very close proximity to the parking lot. And if you go back to the resort map, it's actually not too far of a walk to the bus. You can just pretty much cut through, walk around here, and you have pretty close access to the pool. So that's where I would request if I had my car. Now, if I didn't have a car and I was relying solely on Disney transportation, then I would still request building 2. I would still definitely request the Hoops Hotel section, but I would request to be on this end over here. So basically in the corner, so 2110 over here. And let's go up to the 3rd floor. So obviously I'm just kind of talking about 1st, 2nd, 3rd floor because it just depends on what you prefer. I prefer 1st floor rooms, but this can kind of give you a better overview of the area. So this, if you look here, let's go back. And this would be a very close proximity to the main lobby, the bus location, the pool, etc. So that's where I would request if you don't have a car or you're going to be relying solely on Disney transportation to be there. Number 3 is also a good area here, but here you would request to be on this side right here, because that way you would be closer, it would be the same area. So those those rooms would be 55, so 3155 and 3154. Now, let's say you have a child that really likes tennis. So let's take a look at center court, because you may want to pick an area. If you have a child that really loves basketball, then Hoops Hotel is a great area, but maybe they really love tennis and you want to be in the tennis area, or maybe baseball, you want to be in Home Run Hotel. So let's take a look at each of those buildings. So if you want to be in center court, I would request building 5, and it would also depend on whether or not you had a car. So if you had a car, then maybe you want to be on this end. But honestly, even if I had a car, I would still probably want to be west 5155, and you really can't see too much here. And that would be, or 5154 right behind it. And the reason being is it's not too far of a walk to the parking lot, but then it's pretty close proximity to the main lobby. So I would request building 5 over there. Maybe you want to request in the between, but that's where I would request personally. Now, let's say you had a baseball loving child and you wanted to be in the Home Run Hotel section. This is probably my least desirable. However, this location does have a pool. So this is a really great location if you want to use the smaller pool and maybe you have a car. So if you have a car, then this would be a great location, especially because you're going to have that smaller pool right there. So let's look at this. Let's say if you had a car and you wanted to use the pool, these rooms right here. So it would be, let's pull this one up. It's going to be 9110. Okay, well, that's not a good location because it's got a baseball bat right in the middle. But let's take a look at this one, which would be 9107. So you've got the pool right here. And when you pull out, see the parking lots right there. So if you have a car and you're going to be using your car quite a bit, this might be a great location, especially if you have a child who likes baseball. So those are my recommendations for standard view. I still think the Hoops Hotel is probably the most centrally located, but if you have a car, there's obviously a lot more flexibility. Now we're going to take a look at the preferred rooms. So the preferred rooms, as I stated earlier, are the Surf's Up section, which is buildings 1 and 6, and then the Touchdown section, which is buildings 7 and 10. So here, I think the best building, if you just want to go with the building, would be building 6. It's going to be the most central, obviously very close to the pool. You have the playground is right over here. And then obviously I would try and aim for the end of this building on this side, which would be the 55 location. So if it would come up, there we go. It is going to be $61.55. So here you can see the main building. There is the pool bar right over here. So very, very convenient. So $61.55 would be where I would recommend for the preferred. And then obviously anything on this building I think is probably your safest bet. So if you want to be safe, I would say request building 6. Now, let's say, building 1 also would be very convenient if you have a car. So if you booked preferred and you have a car, then maybe you want to request building 1 because this building on here, let's take a look. These rooms are going to be just as close to the lobby as well. And so there you have the pool bar. There's the pool right here. So that is room 1110. And there you have the parking lot. So if you go on the other side of this building, the parking lot is right out there. So that is a really convenient building if you have your car. So building 1, I think, is great if you have a car. Building 6, if you want to be central and you don't have a car. And then let's say you have a football loving child and you want to be in the touchdown section. This is actually where we stayed. And we were on the 3rd floor, and now this was 2008, but I remember we were on the 3rd floor and we were kind of central, and I didn't think it was bad. It was pretty centrally located. So obviously I would request just being more central. So obviously this would be the 7110. You have this football field here. The main building is going to be on this side. And then in the other building, you're going to request those rooms right here. So this would be 7110, 7109, and then let's look at building 10. It would be the opposite. So it would be 55. So it would be 0155. So these were the rooms we just looked at, and there you have it. So those would be where I would request if you have a child that really loves football or wants to have that proximity to the football field. But personally, I think building 6 is the best if you don't have a car and you just want to be centrally located. It's also probably the safest bet because I think all the rooms in this building are pretty good. Whereas 1, if you have a car, then I would request building 1 over on this end right here. You'll have close proximity to the parking lot and close proximity to the main lobby as well as the pool. Okay, so now we're here at my dashboard, and as you can see, I've already plugged in my fake trip or sample trip, and we are staying at Disney's All-Star Sports, and I'm going to request a room. So I'm going to click request room, and let's say I'm going to pick our room type, and we're going to be staying standard, and it's going to pick up the standard rooms, and I am going to request the Hoops Hotel, and I'm going to request this room over here, because that is 2110. Yes, that's the room I want. So it says click here to make a request for this room for your upcoming trip. I'm going to click here, and it is going to now plop it into my requesting room 2110. Again, you are not done yet. You need to configure room request. I've heard a lot of people stop at this step. They don't configure the room request and they don't understand why their room request was not met. So you have to click configure room request. All of this would be plugged in. Don't touch this. You're going to leave that blank, leave that as it is. And then you're going to put what you want in here. So I'm going to put first floor room because that is the most important for us, that we love first floor. If you want to be on the 2nd floor or the 3rd floor, then definitely put that in as well. If it doesn't matter to you, then just don't put anything in. First floor room, and then I would also put close to lobby. That way they know I want to be close to the lobby. Save. And now we will attempt to send this room request starting 30 days prior to your check-in date. And that's it. Now Touring Plans will send this request off to Disney World 30 days before your trip.
Well, there you have it. That is my overview of Disney's All-Star Sports Resort and my take on the best and worst rooms at this resort. As a reminder, Touring Plans is a paid subscription service, but it runs about $18 a year, and in my opinion is worth every penny. You don't only get the room request service, you also get their Lines app, their Touring Plans, which is what they started at. There's so many things that touringplans.com has to offer. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.